some laps around that intersection, but then he decided to make his way well to the south in the southern portion of South LA, and that's where we saw him get on the 105 freeway westbound. Just for a couple of blocks, he exited at Central and picked up the 105 eastbound, and that's where we're at now. 105 eastbound, coming up on Long Beach Boulevard and towards the 710. And as you can see, look at this, Lauren, Marla, he is moving pretty much at the speed of traffic at this point. And if you do come upon anything like this, like I don't know what that motorist is doing right there, never try to be a hero, especially when you're dealing with a suspect like this. And you have no idea what suspect is being pursued if you come upon something like this on the freeway. Every pursuit that you may encounter on the freeway, just as you would if you hear lights and sirens with a fire company coming up from behind you, slow down, pull safely to the right, give the officers plenty of space. And he is on the move, making an exit here. We're going to give you that off-ramp from the 105 freeway eastbound. It looks to be possibly Long Beach Boulevard here. We'll see in just a moment here. And we'll see what these officers are going to do. A bit of a backup here at the ramp and the surface street down below here. So we'll see exactly how he maneuvers around this situation. He's got the green, though, and he's going to make his way almost up on the curb there, making a left turn, which would take him south again. And let's see if he's going to do exactly what he did on Central, get right back on the freeway. There's the 105 overcrossing. There's the green line right down the middle of the 105 freeway. And let's see what he does. If he zips around that little loop there. Nope, he's going to stay northbound now. And again, we believe this is Long Beach Boulevard. We'll try to get an exact for you here in just a moment. Again, a gray Dodge Neon, a 187 suspect inside. Unclear if there's anybody else in the vehicle. Skyfox first on this, and we're going to stay on this as long as we can here. What you've seen, Lauren and Marla, he has not been driving too erratically. He's been keeping to the speed limit, and even on the surface street here, looks to be driving a bit more cautiously. When we first arrived on scene of the pursuit north of this location, near Firestone and Alameda, I did see his hands out the window, and it did appear he was making some gestures, so at that point, that may have been the case. You can see there's officers from other jurisdictions will join in on this. They'll do traffic control. This is a coordinated effort here once it reaches into different areas, even though LAPD will remain the lead on this. And how this really started, we don't have details as of yet. We don't know if they were tracking this guy. There may have been some detectives knowing his whereabouts, and he was wanted in a murder, and being such, they had a beat on him, and once they saw him and they had an opportunity, they lit him up. He didn't yield, and the pursuit was on, and it's still on here through primarily still in the South LA area, Willowbrook, coming up towards Huntington Park here, all south of downtown Los Angeles, stopping at this very busy intersection. And now it looks like he's going to continue. I know it's going to make a left turn back towards the west here. If they get an opportunity to pit him in an area where they see it's safe for other people, then they're definitely going to try to do that, no question. In terms of the spike strip, again, it's just disabling the car, blocking him in, pitting him, spinning him out. That's what they want to do. But with the spike strip, yeah, there you go. Getting a little bit more erratic now through that intersection. Spike strip is a bit more difficult because you have to know essentially what direction this guy's going to stay in, and knowing so, then that will allow them to deploy a unit and throw out that strip. And in this situation, he's been all over the place, making loops around surface streets, back on and off the freeway, east and westbound on the 105, and now he's making his way westbound here. It appears to be Imperial, but again, we're trying to get that information from our assignment desk and listening in on the scanner here. Again, this gray Dodge Neon 187 suspect being pursued by the Los Angeles Police Department. Marla, Lauren. And now he's back northbound on Alameda, and that's where we first picked this pursuit up. That's the Alameda corridor there, and he's making his way northbound up towards the neighborhood where this pursuit first started. Picking up speeds here northbound on Alameda, and it looks like the Los Angeles Police Department has backed off a little bit. We'll widen out. We'll show you the units. There's still a half a dozen or so, but you can see the space now that they've offered up between the suspect and those units. Driving now in the center divider will push back in at a really high rate of speed. He really picked it up once he made that northbound turn on Alameda. So it appears he does want to stay close to where this pursuit started. Does he have a mindset? You never know with these suspects. They may not have a plan at all, or they may well indeed try to stay in a neighborhood that they're comfortable with. Maybe he's thinking there's an alley he knows where he could bail out, somebody's house, his own home, something where he believes he can get away from these officers. And he's running because right now he's not in custody. He feels that he can evade these officers here. And believe it or not, about 18% of those being pursued actually do get away. This pursuit, a lengthy one now, in that most pursuits average just about a minute or so. In fact, we at times will pick one up on the scanner, and just as we're running to the bird, to the helicopter to hop in, it's already a stand down for us, meaning that the pursuit has always come to an end. But this is a long pursuit. The longer they go, the more dangerous they become, the more opportunities for accidents and for people to get hurt. And when you're dealing with a murder suspect, and if indeed he is that guy they're looking for, and he did commit that horrific act, it doesn't get much more dangerous than this. He could be armed as well. I don't see any up ahead. I see the helicopter doing a great job just a few hundred feet above him. So even though the officers, the patrol cars on the ground have backed off somewhat, they're keeping a close eye on him from above. He's not going to be able to get away with the LAPD helicopter up overhead. And if they were tracking him and they know the crime, at least the crime that he is alleged to have committed, they've done some background information. They know who they're dealing with. So they may know where he lives. That car may be his, registered to him. They may have been tracking him for some time and just wanted the opportunity to approach him and take him into custody, and weren't able to do so before a pursuit started. And that's where we're at right now, making a southbound turn now. And this is the area that we were hearing him moving around when this pursuit started, a half an hour ago now or so. So southbound now, back into this residential neighborhood, mixed residential and industrial. You can see the LAPD helicopter still circling overhead, making a southbound trek now. And we'll see once he comes up on Firestone if he gets back on Firestone. Again, Lauren, Marla, it was Firestone and Alameda where we first heard of this pursuit. Making a right turn, a westbound turn now. It's an older model. That's exactly right. I didn't know the year. Thanks for that information. Yeah, an older model making a left turn here. It held pretty well, these compact cars doing. And when you're dealing with a suspect like this, and we've covered so many of these, the driver sometimes becoming a little bit more calm, a little more cautious, but then something agitates them. They pick up speed. They drive more recklessly. Maybe he felt that those units were backing off enough that he might be able to get away, or they decided to back off. But that's not the case. Whether or not he knows an LAPD helicopter is overhead, that's unclear at this time. We haven't seen him, at least we haven't been able to detect any cell phone activity from him if he's on a cell phone trying to communicate with anybody. That happens a lot. A lot of times friends, relatives will see one of their own being pursued, and they'll try to convince them to pull over and to end these things peacefully. He's not. He's running. He's a 187 suspect, allegedly a 187 committing that horrible crime, and now he's making his way back west, still in South LA here, pretty close to the community of Watts now, and we'll try to get an exact location. And I just did see something. I saw somebody run to the intersection there and really gesture at him, not in a way that somebody who's just watching this in the neighborhood, but someone who looked very agitated, like he was trying to grab the attention of the suspect, like he may know them. Right at that last corner there, he ran up and he was waving his hands, and then his hands came down when he passed him. Back northbound now, so he is staying in the same area now, making loops in this South LA neighborhood, a neighborhood he may be comfortable with. It's where the pursuit started. Maybe not, but again, I'm just speaking upon past. On this major, it appears to be Central that he's making his way northbound on. Through the heart of South LA, Central will take you all the way up into the downtown LA skyline, the area there. LAPD helicopter still circling overhead. Looks like he's making a left turn now, and there you go. The space cushion between the suspect and the LAPD has diminished quite a bit here. Now, we'll see once they get into an area where they feel they can bump him. If he slows down enough, if they don't see any pedestrians, it's got to be a move, pinpoint move when these actions occur. You saw the bicyclists there. There could be kids out on the corner here. School will be getting out for some schools in a short time here. So all of those things are taken. Extensive training is done by the Los Angeles Police Department. Off the 5 and the 405, there's a training facility. We watch all the time as those officers, during the pre-dawn hours when you have no light, during the daytime hours, wetting down the roadway, spinning out, tracking an alleged suspect such as this, and making those pit maneuvers, training and practicing so that they know how to deal with it in real life. And that's what it is. We're real life here. This is a 187 suspect being pursued here through South LA, all over the streets of South LA here between Broadway and Main, now making a southbound drive here. LAPD helicopter right on top of him, just a couple hundred feet. Coming up on a major now. He slows down. He does, make his way cautiously through these intersections. Century Boulevard here parallels the 105 freeway on the north side, making his way westbound now on Century Boulevard towards the 110 Harbor Freeway. Marla, Lauren. Yeah, absolutely. You just don't know. And now he made a U-turn, and now he's in an area where it's not quite as busy. Whether or not he knows where he's going or not, but he's going to run into an area here where you're not seeing as much in the way of traffic. You're not seeing any pedestrian traffic. If you continue southbound, we'll see if that's the case. And if that is the case, and he is in an area where they think that they can pit him, spin him out, and not hurt anybody, they're going to do it. They want to bring this to an end. Again, an alleged 187 suspect doesn't get more dangerous than this. He could be armed. Yep, murder suspect, yep. And these are the numbered street that he's making his way around. The north-south streets, the main street, the Broadway, the Central, close by. The east-west streets are the numbered streets. Starting from 1st Street in downtown LA, you can go south all the way to the harbor area, and you're going to be in the 200s. So he's in the 90 to 95 area right now, streets. If he makes his way east and westbound. You have Imperial, you have Century as major east-west through this area. But this is the heart of South LA, near Watts here, north of the 105 freeway, and to the east of the 110. How this ends, all these pursuits end so differently. At times we just see them, randomly just pull over very cautiously and give themselves up like they're done with it, or we see them end in horrific crashes. We've seen the whole gamut. You can see units now that he is staying in the same neighborhood, hanging around Century, around Imperial, around the numbered streets here, because he's choosing to stay in this neighborhood. And this is a neighborhood very close to where this pursuit first started. Again, an early model, an early 90s gray Dodge Neon. That's what he's driving in, this murder suspect here through the streets of South LA. In the neighborhood, absolutely. Positioning at intersections now, possibly holding traffic back. What they're going to do is try to help out, mitigate the safety issue here with traffic, opposing traffic that has no idea that this is going on. What they'll do is they'll hold traffic, They're in communication with the lead on the pursuit. Everybody's dialed into that same station. They're all talking. Location is on. There was an officer right there positioned there, and what they do is they coordinate with dispatch and all of the officers out in the field to set up in those locations so that they can hold traffic and make it safe. And now we're moving at an unsafe rate of speed northbound. This murder suspect, northbound right through that stop sign there, heading up through the heart of South LA. Northbound would take him well away from the 105 freeway up towards downtown Los Angeles. And he's choosing to stay that course at least for several blocks here. Yeah, no question. They have to be prepared for anything. Obviously, they likely know a lot more than we do about what went on and the circumstances of such and the suspect they're dealing with. So they have contingency plans for that. But with anybody being pursued who chooses to evade police, you don't know what you're dealing with. It could have just been a benign running through the stop sign. They lit them up, traffic violation. They decided not to stop. The pursuit is on. That doesn't mean that guy who ran the stop sign who chooses not to pull over isn't any more dangerous than this guy. They know this guy's dangerous. He's a murder suspect. So they're treating that in a serious way, but they'll treat anybody who chooses not to pull over for police in that same way because they don't know. Maybe there is a murder suspect who just ran that stop sign. I'm sorry, repeat that one more time. We're getting a little bit of information from. No question. It's a compact car. Yeah, absolutely, and it's been going for some time. But how much gas he had in the tank? Was he low? Did he need to do a fill up? We don't know that at this point. Near Central, making a right or eastbound turn now, and that would take him back towards Firestone and Alameda, right where this pursuit started. So he is really staying in an area that we believe he's comfortable with. He's familiar with, at least, being that he could very well reside in this area, know friends, have family in this area. Still seeing the LAPD helicopter circling overhead, making a left turn against opposing traffic. That's a dangerous move there for sure. Now making a left or a northbound turn, getting a little more agitated. As I say, you can see the moods of the suspects being pursued. They change quite a bit throughout the course of a pursuit. Yeah, there's no question that there is that coordination going on, that they're going to position themselves in an area once they see this pattern so that the hope is that he may come upon an intersection, an area where they're going to have the resources right there in place, and the moment may present itself where they can bring it to an end. But you just can't here. Look at how busy it is. This intersection right here, you have bus traffic, automotive traffic, left turns, right turns, stop signs here, stoplights, and it's just a real difficult situation to, in a split move, to try to pit this guy, to spin him out, to box him in. At this point, they just haven't really had that opportunity. Once they do, they certainly will. They're trying to get as much information from the airborne, the helicopter, the LAPD unit ahead as well to help with this. Yeah, no question. Making a westbound trek now, very close to the Central Post Office, which I mentioned during the noon show. The Central Post Office, which is very busy today on tax day, which is open, one of the few post offices open till midnight. He's making his way westbound on Slauson, near Central. LAPD helicopter overhead. I would say there's a couple hundred yards space between the suspect, that murder suspect, and the LAPD units. We're going to get into some issues now with LAX if he continues west. So bear with us. We're going to try to keep this picture. Oh, look at the pedestrian right here. Look at that. He stops and slows down. Very close there. And this lady really doesn't know what's going on, obviously. And then all of a sudden she sees all the activity and everybody at that intersection as well. So westbound on Slauson, right through South LA. This would take him over towards the 110 Harbor Freeway. There are on and off ramps there that he can choose to pick up to make his way onto the Harbor Freeway. So if he chooses, you can see some construction workers there waving at him. This stretch of Slauson looks pretty wide open, actually, believe it or not. At least this portion at this moment, traffic relatively light over towards the 110 Harbor Freeway. Again, westbound on Slauson towards the 110 Harbor Freeway here in South Los Angeles. And we're in LAX airspace right now, so we're shooting from a distance here. We're going to do the best we can to hang on top of this. Looks like he's getting in the left turn lane, putting on his, even he does put on his signal when he makes a left turn. Left on Avalon now from Slauson. So he's going to head southbound. And I just saw that. Yep, I just saw that. It looks like if you look close there, it does appear that his window's open. It's been open on and off throughout this pursuit, and he has been hanging his arm out at times. You can see there. Doesn't appear from that vantage point that we see anybody else inside the vehicle. Doesn't mean that somebody might be ducking down below there. Again, this is a murder suspect, a 187 suspect being pursued through South Los Angeles, through the heart of South LA, down surface streets here. He was on the 105 for a short time, but he prefers this South LA neighborhood around Central, Avalon, and he's making his way south. Again, the gas situation, we just don't know at this time what his situation is, how much gas he has. All we know is the LAPD is doing their best to bring this to a safe conclusion. I mentioned earlier the Los Angeles Police Department, a lot of this is just because of the number of pursuits in this large jurisdiction area, one of the largest in the country. There's more pursuits. There's more opportunity for pursuits. And the more pursuits there are, that means there's more opportunities for accidents, and that has happened in recent years, and that's why the Los Angeles Police Department has led the state and the nation in innocent people being injured as a result of these pursuits. They understand that. No question about it. And in doing so, we've noticed in more recent years that these suspects who watch them, may have watched a handful of pursuits prior to being pursued themselves, sort of learn the tactics, know the situation, are aware of spike strips and pit maneuvers and opportunities for officers to bring these pursuits to an end, and they become a little bit more savvy. He's running. He wants to run. He's still out of custody at this point. He still feels he can get away, and that's what he's trying to do here through South LA. They'll pursue at any point when somebody doesn't pull over. So they may run a plate, Marla Lauren, on somebody and find that, he's got a traffic citation. The case, then they'll light him up and they'll pull him over or try to pull him over and say, hey, you had a parking ticket here, whizzing through these intersections. Now he's moving at a real high rate of speed. They'll try to pull him over, and if they don't yield, then a pursuit is on. So definitely officers are here to protect and serve, and protecting us with traffic violations or the most serious crime in murder, and that's what this man is generally wanted for is a serious situation indeed. So to answer your question, they'll pull over anybody who's wanted for anything. And no question about that. And he sees up ahead street signs, and he does start to slow. Of all the pursuits I've covered, if you go from 1 to 10, 10 being the most erratic, most dangerous, he's in the mid-range area. And just as I say that, he drives up into a parking lot here, It looks like he's just going to use that to scoot on over to make a northbound ride to avoid some of the traffic at the intersection there. Southbound, so he's heading southbound now. It appears he's back on to Central. South on Central, which would take him back down towards Watts, towards South Los Angeles, towards the 105 freeway. Yeah, he's been doing loops all over South LA, essentially from the south side, the 105 freeway north up towards Firestone, down the Alameda corridor, down Central, over to Slauson, that whole large ring right in the heart of South Los Angeles, the community. Oh, there they just threw out a spike strip there. You see that? There he is. There it is. And he was able to, looks like, make his way around it. As you can see, now they are getting savvy with his travels here. He's staying in the same neighborhood, so they are positioning themselves in ways that, hey, he's doing loops around this area. He's going north, south, retracing his tracks. So now what the Los Angeles Police Department is doing is they're deploying units in the intersections where he's always been in, and if they have an opportunity to throw out a strip, if he makes his way back towards there, that's what they're going to do, and that's what we just saw there. Unfortunately, that one was not successful. It's challenging. I mean, these officers can't put themselves in harm's way. They can't get in front of the vehicle. Again, this is a dangerous murder suspect at this point. Unclear if he's armed. They're essentially getting out of their patrol cars and throwing out a strip of spikes to disable them, and they have to stay a safe distance away. All right. Down an alley now. So these are situations where, but gosh, to know that alley has an outlet there, he must know this neighborhood because he was able to just make his way. And we'll get you across the street here as soon as we get it. Again, a gray Dodge Neon, an early '90s model. A murder suspect being pursued here throughout the streets of South LA, Alameda, down towards the 105, Firestone. He's all over the place, making a right turn or a southbound turn now. And we're back towards the community of Watts here in South LA. And we'll see what he's doing. He's slowing down. Now he's driving against opposing traffic here, getting around somebody right in the middle of the intersection there, too. And the longer these pursuits go, and the longer they stay in the same neighborhood, you're going to see more people coming out to watch them. And not a good idea. If you are watching from home, keep it here on Fox 11. Stay inside safely in your home. Don't try to go out, into the intersection, into the neighborhood, and try to, make a gesture at this guy here. That's really dangerous. It puts you in danger, puts officers in danger. It's just not a good situation at all. And if you're in your car, again, another reminder: if you're ever in a situation where a pursuit comes up behind you, slowly pull over to the right, stop, give law enforcement plenty of space. There's the school buses on the move as we get into the afternoon hour, starting to roll out as the school day will start to come to an end for some of these students. And hopefully this pursuit will come to an end well before that occurs. There's another person out right in the middle of the street there in the upper left corner. Just saw him real briefly. Back on Central, back north, back into a lot of traffic, and against opposing traffic, driving northbound in southbound lanes, making a left turn. But you can see the officers down below there. So they are positioning all over this neighborhood. He's choosing to stay in a tight area, a 4-block area, I'd say, at least over the last 10 or 15 minutes now in South LA. Oh, no way. That's point. He certainly doesn't. And again, the longer these pursuits go, the more dangerous they become, the more opportunity for them to end in a way in which an innocent person gets injured here. It looks like he was gesturing to move left. What his plan is, you just never know. He's driving erratically. He could be under the influence. We don't know that. Obviously, this is a guy, dangerous murder suspect, a 187 as we call it. That's a code name for a murder suspect here. Traveling northbound and now at a more moderate speed, keeping his speeds down. This is primarily residential. There it goes again, another spike strip. He thought that officer threw it out, thinking he'd continue north. He evaded it, made a left turn, headed west over these speed bumps here through this residential neighborhood. So yet another attempt by the Los Angeles Police Department to throw out those spikes and disable this vehicle by puncturing the tires. So they're really being aggressive here and trying to bring this to an end. Now making a northbound turn. Yeah. Yeah, and they're busy streets. In spots, you see the volume become a little lighter, but you see a lot of pedestrian traffic. There's another person coming outside their home there to more on the corner there. Again, not a safe thing to do at all with any suspect, especially when we're hearing that this is an individual, at least who's been who they believe committed a heinous act, a murder, heading northbound now through South LA. Here, and the space cushion again has increased a bit between the suspect and the lead patrol car by the LAPD, and this pursuit has as well, maybe to provide relief for the initial helicopter. There it is, coming into frame there from left to right. That's a new airship there, and we'll see what he does here, driving against opposing traffic there. He is driving in an eastbound direction in westbound lanes. A divided stretch of highway here because all of that traffic on the other side through the intersection. There's the officers again. So more and more we're seeing the presence of the Los Angeles Police Department at all these intersections, being that this suspect is choosing to stay in the same general vicinity of South LA, Slauson, Firestone, Alameda, Central, down towards the 105 freeway, Watts, up into the northern portion of South LA, bordering the southern fringe of downtown Los Angeles. Marla, Lauren. Yeah, absolutely. On the sidewalk, people gesturing him. Now he's against the traffic again. Well, look at that. Really close. He's traveling eastbound in westbound lanes. School bus there. All the foot traffic there. Now crossing back over against opposing traffic. Such a dangerous situation. I know the LAPD wants to do their best to bring this to a conclusion as quickly as possible before somebody gets hurt. Every minute this pursuit lasts longer, every opportunity, more opportunity there are for something real serious to happen with somebody, an innocent person, just walking the street, riding their bike, or in their car. Yeah, no question. Yeah, no question. And we made that point just a short time ago, Bob, that we're seeing more of that. And I remind everybody, just stay safe inside there. North-South Blue Line, the Metro Rail system there. He just made his way under there. Stay inside. You can watch comfortably here, and hopefully you'll watch this come to a peaceful end. These intersections getting busier, and he's getting more agitated. So what he does is he crosses over traffic, crosses over the line there, travels against opposing traffic. That's what he's doing there, making his way back very close to where we first heard this pursuit. That's Firestone and Alameda, and that's where he's headed toward. Yeah, he had the opportunity. He had a wide open 105 freeway. He could have picked up, any freeway, the 605, the 710, or the 110. And made his way across the basin, across town, and he chose not to. He chose to hop off the freeway again and head back into the neighborhood where this pursuit started, and that's Firestone and Alameda, down Central, Avalon, over towards Slauson and Imperial, and down towards the 105. The 105 was the southern fringe of the pursuit, and that was back off after being on it just a minute or so. And he's choosing this neighborhood. We'll widen out a little bit. We'll see that, again, watching that space cushion. And it keeps increasing. You see the distance between the lead LAPD patrol car. He's made a southbound turn now on Alameda. Back down Alameda. We've been here 3 times, 4 times now. Maybe, Bob, Lauren, down this stretch of Alameda. Twice. Yeah. Yep. No. The longer the pursuit lasts, the same area it stays in, more and more people coming out to do just that. Be the eyewitness, have their cell phone video out, record it, to document it. Here we go into an intersection here in which he did not have the light. He made a right turn. We're back into the numbered streets here in South LA. Or up in the 85 to 90 street range. There's some bicyclists there. Right down the middle of the street. He evaded them. More bicyclists coming southbound there and heading northbound here. LAPD unit, helicopter still circling overhead. Yeah, making a right turn. Yeah, I think they're going to react the way he reacts, and being that he is siding a little more on the cautious side. Earlier, I gave a 1 to 10 ranking, Bob, in that the most dramatic, erratic, crazy dangerous pursuits that I've covered being a 10, and the most benign, slow, where we actually see them driving under the speed limit, stopping at every light, at every stop sign. I'll give this a mid-range score of a 5, because we do see him driving against traffic and doing some erratic moves. But then once he feels that the traffic is lighter, and as I say that, there he goes right up against the center island there to avoid all that stop traffic, because once he's stopped, he feels vulnerable. Oh, here we go, that pickup truck, really close there. So he knows once he slows down, he comes to a stop or reduces his speed enough, he knows that those officers are going to be right behind him and have the opportunity to perhaps box him in, conduct that pit maneuver and get him if that opportunity presents itself. Now we're pulling. We're gonna pull. We're going to pull back a little bit here to take care of a little bit of business here, but we're going to still track this for sure, this pursuit here involving this murder suspect. No, communicate with the desk, and you guys should get the information there in terms of.
Okay, coming towards us, coming towards us. Tenaya, Cherokee maybe? Michigan maybe? Just off your left, Adam. Southbound, southbound. Okay, guys, we are southbound through the Southgate area here. Southbound through the Southgate area here. We are on one of the residential streets southbound leading down to MLK, Martin Luther King Jr. here. And so we'll be there in just a matter of a few seconds. This guy is basically playing a cat and mouse game here, and well up ahead of the LAPD officers here. We're making a right turn westbound. So right turn westbound, and that's going to be right over MLK, and we'd be just coming up on Long Beach Boulevard. So yeah, essentially we're kind of making circles, if you want to say that, but hard to define a particular area here. But you know, interestingly enough, this is where we understood that the pursuit began, or at least came through. When it first started about an hour ago here. So at any rate, we are now southbound back on Alameda, southbound Alameda from MLK. So again, through Southgate, we'll be coming through Linwood here. We'll be on Long Beach Boulevard heading down towards the 105 freeway. So I can tell you, it does, TV5 affirm I am. It appears that, go ahead. It sure looks like it. You know, without any direct confirmation, it sure looks like it. Visually, I can't see anything, and you kind of made note that there was no one visible in the passenger seat. It's kind of hard to see in the rear of the vehicle here, but it sure would seem that this guy is alone. So I guess we'll go with that at this point. So without any direct confirmation, that's all we know at this point. So we're essentially coming through Southgate here, and we're in a residential neighborhood, perhaps an area that he knows, because again, as I mentioned, this is an area apparently that this person came through initially. And I'm going to try and get a street for you here. I think that's going to be Poplar, maybe Norton Avenue. Norton Avenue is going to be where we are here, and we are going to be traveling westbound on Norton, and he's just going to be coming into a traffic circle here, and that's going to be kind of where State Street, Los Flores, State Street and Los Flores come together, and he is coming around. Wow, okay, that doesn't look safe. Okay, yeah. He is going around the wrong way, around the traffic circle here, guys. He is going essentially around clockwise in a counterclockwise traffic circle here. So again, southbound, we're picking up State Street, and we'll be down towards Imperial Highway in just a matter of a couple of moments here. And he's right through the intersection at Imperial Highway and making that eastbound turn. So eastbound on Imperial from State Street. So that is where we are. We are in Linwood at this point. Linwood, guys. And he's going to be coming up on a unit. He's going to be coming up on, okay, he's right in front of what looks to be a shopping center. Wow, some evasive moves here. Oh my goodness. Okay, some evasive moves to get through that little intersection there. But again, this guy has made it through, and he's eastbound on Imperial Highway, and he'll be coming up on Peach Street. He'll be coming up on Long Beach Boulevard here in about the next 100 yards, where he does have a green light. He can get through there if need be. So okay, now all four are stopped. So he's got a red light, and it looks like he's kind of stopped there. Let's see what gives. Okay, he stopped there. The LAPD is coming up. It looks like the driver door is opening, and it looks like yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, I concur, guys. It looks like he might have thrown something out, possibly his keys. This is going to be Imperial Highway eastbound, right at Long Beach Boulevard here, guys. Imperial Highway, right at Long Beach Boulevard. We're right in front of a 76 gas station where this guy essentially pulled over. He pulled over, threw something out, possibly his keys, and now the LAPD is essentially directing this guy to obey their command so that they can take him into custody in as clean and safe a way as possible here. Now, it doesn't appear that there are any passengers at this point. He is backing away from the car. His arms are up. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in. If he makes a fast move for something in his waist or belt pocket here, of course, we're going to have to pull out of the shot. But at this point, it looks like he wants to give up. It looks like he's tired of this thing going on and on here. But the dangerous thing is look at the pedestrians or look at the other commuters that are basically stopped at the light here waiting to see what goes on here. But essentially, this is happening right in front of a lot of people here on this street. So hopefully this ends peacefully. And it certainly looks like it, but you just never know until you get a team of officers over the guy and to get this guy into custody here where they can pat him down. And at that point, hopefully they'll be able to clear the vehicle here. But yeah, that is kind of an unusual situation where he just kind of stopped well ahead of the LAPD guys. There's the team of officers approaching the car. They're going to want to open up the trunk just to make sure that no one's in there. A secondary team of officers joining the first, and they're going to make an approach to the suspect here who's prone down, face down at the intersection. This guy is basically on Imperial Highway, just a little bit west of Long Beach Boulevard here, and it looks like that first officer is down on this guy, and he's going to be taking him into custody here. At that point, they'll be able to pat him down. It looks like the car is going to be cleared, and that is certainly some good news here. This intersection is going to be tied up for a couple of minutes here while they work with this one suspect here. They are still traveling north and southbound on Long Beach Boulevard here, unbeknownst to a lot of the folks here that a very dangerous situation is occurring right here. So there's the suspect. He is up on his feet and he's being guided away to one of the waiting cruisers. And yeah, this is definitely a good, safe, and clean end to a potentially very, very dangerous pursuit where we saw this guy blowing through stop signs, stoplights, going into opposing lanes of traffic, and just creating a very dangerous situation for a lot of pedestrians on the street as well as the commuters. So yeah, just a very safe and clean ending to a potentially dangerous pursuit here, guys. Okay, Elliot. Okay, let's stay with the suspect for just a little bit here. Later, man. Thank you. Ah, dude, I hope I didn't sound like an ass, but So they were getting gas. Yeah. No. They were on it for a good long time. It's just they had to split ski for fuel. So,